The twists and turns of the 2-mile road course at Sonoma mean one thing for drivers: opportunity. There have been 9 winners in the last 9 races here, and NASCAR Live, presented by Geico, starts right now.
Green flag is in the air. We are road course racing at Sonoma.
Danica Patrick in trouble.
Oh, problems for Denny Hamlin. Martin Truex Jr., a winner at Sonoma.
Welcome, everyone, to NASCAR Live, presented by Geico. It's the first of 2 road course races this season, and for those outside of the chase for the Sprint Cup, this could provide the ticket to the inside. This is one of the wild cards in the race to the chase, and it could put an unusual suspect in the hunt for the championship. Hello and welcome into our NASCAR Live studio alongside of Jeff Hammond. I am John Roberts, and Jeff, it is time to go road course racing. And the good thing about this is we could see that surprise winner big time, because we're looking for 10 different winners in 10 races out there if we get a new one.
And I think the way the new format for the chase is, it really has primed this place up for that. There's so many drivers right now that have really loaded that basket trying to get that one win here on the road course because they're so good at road course races. Then you got other guys who are just out there trying to have fun. This race is so unpredictable right now when you start looking about who could be really good. And qualifying is going to have a lot to say about that. I think this new style of qualifying is really going to throw these guys a curve, because starting deep in the field could be your Achilles heel.
Yeah, many winners on this road course start on the front row or on the pole for that matter. Let's get you caught up with 3 things you need to know. This past Tuesday, Jimmy Johnson went back to his hometown of El Cajon, California, where he had a street named after him, and he held his annual charity golf tournament as well. Past Sonoma winner Kurt Busch in his Stewart Haas number 41 sat atop the speed charts in the first Cup practice yesterday, but then it was Clint Boyer who was second quickest in the first practice. He shot to the top and was fastest in the final Cup practice yesterday, and that is with knockout qualifying coming up in less than 30 minutes from now. So, Jeff, qualifying is so important. We've seen guys come maybe from a few positions back, but the vast majority of the winners on these road courses start up front.
Yeah, you're right. And the way you draw a lot of times for your qualifying position makes a big difference when it comes to Sonoma. We've got to realize they're going to open this track up. We're not going up the drag strip and turning out and coming back around like we've done old-style qualifying. It's everybody going out when they want to. And if you drew up toward the front, remember all these guys going to be on pit road, they get to kind of go out first. Somebody like Carl Edwards, who had a bad draw, he's away at the back. So this getting off of pit road is going to be real important. Watching the spotter, work with his driver to try to get him as clean a lap as possible, and maybe somebody not, well, getting a little bit upset because you're in my way when I needed to run a good lap. There's going to be some of that before the day's all said and done.
Yes, now we remember last year it was this racetrack where NASCAR kind of gave us a look at what the future is going to be like in qualifying. They put groups of cars.
Right.
They didn't put the whole group out there,
No.
yes, but they put groups of cars. So we've seen a little bit of this on this racetrack so far.
But not to this degree, as you already said. When you put small quantities of car out there on the racetrack, it's easy to monitor that separation. When you pretty much open it wide open, and the key to this thing is 30 minutes. That's all you've got. Get it right. Make sure you keep it on the course, and nobody gets in your way. Then you only got a few minutes to think about it, and if you get good enough and you advance to that other round, well, it gets a little easier.
Very important qualifying session coming up. We got it live for you right here. But later in the show, we'll answer some fan Twitter questions. So if you have a question for Jeff about your favorite driver, team, tanning, or racing in Sonoma, send a tweet to NASCAR on Fox using the hashtag GridChatter. We'll have some fun with those later on in the show. Let's take a look at what's still to come today and tomorrow on Fox Sports 1. Coming up in less than 30 minutes, Sprint Cup qualifying. Then, tomorrow, race day kicks off at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, and Fox Sports 1 wraps up your night with Victory Lane at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Still to come on NASCAR Live, we'll get back into the garage and check in as crews continue to prepare for Cup qualifying coming up shortly. But next, are drivers approaching Sonoma any differently now that a chase berth may be on the line? Their answers may surprise you. More NASCAR Live, presented by Geico, comes your way next.
Can I help you? We just wanted to find out about your family plan.
Sure. You get 10 gigs of data to share with unlimited talk and text. And for a family of 4, that's $160 a month.
Sounds great.
Sounds like a slam dunk.
Oh, you a basketball fan?
Yeah, I played a little.
Me too. Lily Adams, point guard, high school, JV.
Grant Hill, small forward, college, and professional.
Oh, good for you.
AT&T introduces our best ever family pricing. For instance, a family of 4 gets 10 gigs of data with unlimited talk and text for $160 a month.
What's a born maker made from? From small steps, giant leaps, big ideas, and sharp minds. All the things that make a born maker made this. A car with swagger, intelligence, soul. A car that proves a well-made sedan doesn't have to cross an ocean to be worthy of the American road. The all-new Chrysler 200, America's import.
Things have changed.
Welcome back, everybody, to NASCAR Live. There you see the 15 of Clint Boyer getting ready to go here. We're back in just a minute.
What art thou drinking, Isaac?
Giveth me a red apple ale. Gravity.
What's that?
I have no idea.
Red's Apple Ale. Crisp like an apple, brewed like an ale. Now's the time to save big on summer fun at Bass Pro Shop's 4th of July sale. Like Bass Pro Flag t-shirts for only $5. Tournament Pro Classic Baitcast combos for under $50. And check out Family Summer Camp with kids' workshops, crafts, and more, all for free.
They've given us freedom. Years of service and sacrifice. They've given us courage, honor, heartache, and a sense of pride every time we see the flag. So join us in celebrating the stars who protect the stripes at NASCAR.com/salute. Because honor and courage should never go unnoticed.
Trout and the Angels.
It's out of here!
Battle Beltran, Texas. Rangers, Angels at 10 Eastern. Tonight on Fox Sports 1.
Everyone is here for one thing and one thing alone. The pure love of racing. Find your local track at NASCAR.com/hometracks.
NASCAR Live is presented by Geico. There you see the 15 car of Clint Boyer, who won this race 2 years ago. And also there is the number 78 car being driven by Martin Truex Jr., who won this race just 1 year ago. Both drivers know Sonoma's twists and turns have no shortage of drama.
Boogity, 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 let's go racing, boys and girls! Kyle Busch gets hit from behind by Juan Pablo Montoya.
Danica Patrick, you see turned around. That's David Rudeman off course.
Kyle Busch having an off-road excursion.
The troubles for the 18 continue here today in Sonoma.
And Martin Truex Jr. will flash past winning the silver anniversary version of the Toyota St. Mart 350.
Fans of the sport know well going into each season that both Daytona and Talladega, the super speedways, are wild card races, but any driver, any year, could score a win there. With the new chase rules and the win and you're in scenario, we were curious if Sonoma now has that same wild card feeling, but with even more on the line.
It's a wild card event, especially when you come to Sonoma, because you're pushing around a lot out there. You know, this is such a challenging place with the strategy and how you play that out. And then there's a lot of angry drivers out there that end up getting pushed around a lot.
I think if you look through past history, occasionally there's people that win road courses that maybe won't win a race the rest of the year at the rest of the tracks. So certainly Watkins Glen, Sears Point, and Daytona could put 3 people in that might not otherwise have a chance to get there.
If you had to consider any of them wild cards, I think plate tracks definitely be at the top of the list. Road courses, I think that they're sort of wild cards, but really there's only, I would say the group of drivers that are probably capable of winning on both road courses is probably smaller.
I think speedway racing is definitely a way bigger wild card than Sonoma or Watkins Glen. So you go to a restrictor plate race and you can have anybody for that matter. We just saw it a couple years ago with David Reagan, the great job that him and David Gilliland did of finishing 1-2 at Talladega.
I think Sonoma and Watkins Glen can certainly be a wild card. You still have to have speed in your car, you have to have track position, but so many things can go good or bad in the closing laps. If we play our cards right, we could possibly slip off a win.
Now, it does definitely separate the great drivers from the good ones, but we do have surprises when it comes to road course racing. One surprise a couple years ago was Clint Boyer's victory there, and he's standing by with Bob Dillon in our Geico Pit Report.
Well, you guys talk about the wild card events as we get closer and closer to the chase. Of course, the restrictor plate track of Daytona, but everybody pointing to the road courses as well. Clint Boyer, first of all, I want to know your thoughts on this wild card position for this race and possibly getting a victory. But how'd you get so good, a Midwest boy, on the road courses?
Man, just, come out here with an open mind and really enjoy and embrace, everything that Sonoma has to offer. I mean, obviously this racetrack always produces awesome racing, and who wouldn't want to be a part of an awesome race? So really have, started to make this one of my, destination tracks. I mean, it really is. I mean, when I first started here, coming out here, I was horrible. I mean, this was my worst racetrack by far, and somehow, ever since I've hooked up with Patty and everybody at MWR, it's just it's been relatively easy. We've came out here and we've had good speed right off the truck, honed in and just made subtle adjustments, and as a driver, having a car that's close, then you can just focus on fine-tuning the little bitty things that make up the big difference at the end of the race. And it sure is a lot easier to go through practice like that.
Now, you gave me the boring political answer, because when I asked you when we were off camera, you said it was the gravel roads around the Midwest that made you good on the road courses. So speaking of gravel and dirt and blacktop, absolutely. So
be on the blacktop.
Exactly. Black is good, brown is bad. How are you going to conquer qualifying being so quick?
We were fast yesterday. We just got to back that lap up. That's what's so hard to do. I mean, you have so many opportunities to screw up, on one lap around here. And, oh, by the way, you need one lap. That's all you get. You don't get a second chance. So such a difficult thing. If you slip up, in any part of the racetrack, you just natural tendencies are, all right, I can get that back. I can make up that 2/10 in the next corner or the next 4 or 5, and you end up screwing up 4 or 5 in a row, and really blowing the lap. So it is a difficult thing to do. Qualifying is so important here. There's a lot of pressure on today for that one lap and then making that next round. If you can make the top 12, you can win from inside there. You can truly win one of these road courses from anywhere, but it's a lot easier to win inside that next round of cars. So that's what I'm focused on, getting a solid lap in, not making a mistake. And once you get inside that top 12, who cares? Go for it and see if you can land on a pole.
And, Johnny, that's what it is all about this weekend. Win, they say, and you're in the chase.
Thanks, Bob. The last 9 races at Sonoma, there have been 9 different winners. There you see them, including Clint Boyer, who would love to visit Victory Lane once again and score his first win of the season. Jeff, there's some great road course racers on that list, some of them still very hungry for a win. But who do you think has the best chance of perhaps making it 10 different winners in 10 different races?
Well, one of the guys I believe right now that's knocking on the door, and he's been doing it quite often when it comes here to Sonoma, has to be the 9 car of Marcus Ambrose. This guy here, he is a proficient road racer. We know how good he can run at places like Watkins Glen. He's been so close here in the past. And don't forget, he ran out of fuel leading this race one time. I don't think he's ever forgot it. He is really poised, I think, to get after it this weekend and make it happen.
He has been close before. Who's next?
Another guy that's kind of like, maybe a little bit of a long shot, has to be A.J. Allmendinger. Remember what he did this time last year, driving Team Penske in the Nationwide Series. He went up there and he kicked some serious tail, and I feel like he is chomping at the bit, and this team is right on the verge of putting some really good things together. And this is basically, he's a hometown boy, so I'm sure he wants to get a win there. Last but not least, this is going to kind of mess up the idea of maybe getting a 10th different winner. How about a repeat winner? The guy who's been fast since he unloaded the car, I'm talking about the 15 of Clint Boyer. He was second in the first practice and fastest in the last practice. This guy, believe it or not, he doesn't look much like a road racer, but he gets the job done. He knows how to run really smooth here at Sonoma. He likes the place. Look for him possibly to spoil this party.
Yeah, and let's not forget, he is very hungry for a win now. Still to come on this edition of NASCAR Live, how did your driver fare in Final Cup practice yesterday? We'll break it down. Also, how do you get around Sonoma? We'll hear from the crew chief of Marcus Ambrose, Drew Blickensderfer, as he gives us his Drew's Clues. Stay tuned to find out. NASCAR Live, presented by Geico, continues.
All you need to know is here on Fox Sports Live.
Kevin Durant's hot streak has everyone impressed.
I was watching on Fox Sports 1.
Let's throw it to you. Kenny Florian.
More Peter Schrager.
Jay, I don't know about you, but I am spent.
What's the fastest way to the hospital?
It's coming.
What do you mean it's coming?
I'm pushing, but it's too slow.
Baby, breathe. Whew.
At times like these, you shouldn't go slow. You should be fast with Metro's lightning fast nationwide 4G LTE network. $40, period. Metro PCS.
Take off on the adventure of the summer and fly in for savings at Camping World, the nation's #1 retailer for RVs and outdoor accessories. Camping World offers one-stop shopping with interest rates at decade lows. Towable RVs starting at $99.95 and payments as low as $109 a month. Plus, buy an RV from us and gain access to our Good Sam Elite loyalty program. Whatever you need, Camping World comes to the rescue.
Awesome!
Call, click, or visit your local Supercenter today and see Disney's Planes, Fire and Rescue in theaters in 3D July 18th.
Introducing America's greatest invention ever. Park's Finest from Ballpark.
What?
Made with 100% beef, no nitrates, and infused with bold premium seasonings like slow smoked hickory. And just wait till you taste it. New Park's Finest from Ballpark.
So, Hambone, if we were out there right now, would we be drinking wine or working?
We'd be working.
Okay.
I mean, no different what we're doing right.
At Maaco, we don't think new is necessarily better. So instead of giving up on the car you used to love, bring it to Maaco. For only $399, we'll give your entire car a fresh coat of paint. It's time to give your car a second chance. Maaco, America's body shop.
This is Lydia's new Honda Civic EXL. It comes with tons of cool, standard features, like touchscreen display audio. And it's the only compact car with lane watch to help her keep an eye on most everything in her blind spot. Start something special now with the Civic, the best-selling car in its class. Visit your local Honda dealer today.
Over 1 million people, countless parties, and all that pageantry. It's time to color our world with pride. San Francisco Pride is the largest LGBT gathering in the nation, with 20 stages and venues and hundreds of attractions and parade contingents. It's the 44th annual San Francisco Pride Celebration and Parade. Join the celebration at Civic Center, Saturday, June 28th and Sunday, June 29th. Watch the parade on Sunday, June 29th. Grandstand seating and VIP tickets available. For details, visit sfpride.org.
At Maaco, we don't think new is necessarily better. So instead of giving up on the car you used to love, bring it to Maaco. For only $399, we'll give your entire car a fresh coat of paint. It's time to give your car a second chance. Maaco, America's body shop.
It's baseball night in America on Fox. And the biggest names are tearing it up in primetime. Tonight at 7 Eastern on Fox.
Welcome back to NASCAR Live, everyone. Jeff Hammond, let's take a look at final practice here. Kyle Busch goes for a spin, but no damage reported to the car.
Yeah, this is one of the trickiest corners. You carry so much speed down through the S's. You get a little bit loose here. He did a great job of keeping this car out of the wall. All I had to do is dust it off and go again.
Let's take a look at some of the fast cars in this practice session. Carl Edwards was third fastest.
Hey, these guys need a shot in the arm. Roush Fenway needs a good run, and this may be the guy that can get it for him.
And how about the number 27 car driven by Paul Menard?
And I'll be honest with you, this was a big surprise. I know he's a good road racer, but I didn't expect this car to be that fast in final practice.
And this should come as no surprise, but Clint Boyer was fastest.
Yeah, this is something right now. It's about time. He's been knocking on the door of places like Martinsville. He needs that shot in the arm, and he's a guy that can get it done here.
Let's take a look, Jeff, at the top 10 drivers in that practice session. There's Clint Boyer leading the way. Jamie McMurray, good road course racer in his own right. And a lot of people were talking about Kyle Larson, this being a really big test for him, and he was 6th fastest.
Yeah, he did a really good job. But let's don't rule out Martin Truex Jr. Even though he's not in that 55 this year, that 78 car with Todd Berry, it runs extremely good on the road courses.
Vickers, Gordon, and Biffle round out your top 10. Now it's time to go inside a crew chief's mind with Marcus Ambrose crew chief Drew Blickensderfer in a segment we call Drew's Clues. Drew, thanks for joining us. Let's talk 3 keys to success at Sonoma. First clue, tell us about the new tire. How's it different?
Well, we were looking after the tire test out here. The new tire has a little more grip than the old tire does. And I think the drivers that tried it at the test and the drivers here today will say maybe they can manage it when it wears out a little better. They're still complaining it's wearing out. It's wearing out really fast. You'll see lap times drop 3 seconds throughout the run. They're dropping 2 seconds in the first 15 laps. So the new tire, not too much different than what we had in the past. Maybe a tick more grip, which will elevate the qualifying speeds today.
And what about clue number 2? In the closing laps, are you thinking tires or track position?
Well, with a driver like Marcus, I'm thinking whatever's going to win us the race. We're going to be set up to do two-stop strategy, I think, like almost everybody in the field. We'll know in 15 or 20 laps if we think we can win the race on that strategy. If we can't win the race on that strategy ourselves, and I think probably a lot of people, because of the new chase format, we'll be gambling to win the race. We'll maybe come on a three-stop strategy. We'll pit and put tires on at the end of the race and see if we can maybe charge the front.
And finally, a third clue, qualifying is coming up in a few minutes. There were no practices today. How will that change your outlook?
Well, I think, again, having Marcus as our driver, he can cold turkey go out there and run on road courses better than most can. So I think for us, it's a huge advantage, and maybe we can use it for one. You know, last year it worked out well for us. You know, a lot of these drivers get in a rhythm, and if we would have had qualifying right after practice, they would be in a better rhythm and be able to go out there and do better than they can today. So coming back cold turkey, us on the 9 car, we're looking forward to it, letting Marcus go out and do his thing.
3 great clues. Best of luck tomorrow, Drew. We know this one's been circled on your calendar for a long time, so go get him and get yourself a chase berth.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
Okay, thanks, Drew. And after all those clues from Drew, let's check in with Casey Mears on NASCAR Race Hub this week. He took us on a lap around Sonoma. Sit back. Here's Riding Shotgun.
So we run 2 road course races all year, Sonoma and Watkins Glen. Sonoma being probably the most technical. Let's take a lap. Right here, you're coming onto the front stretch. Sometimes you'll grab 4th. A lot of times in the race, you'll leave it in 3rd. A little bit of brake and nice and easy around this long left-hander. Right here, you're going to downshift to 2nd. It's kind of a blind corner. You're looking all the way for the exit here. You're leaving it in 2nd gear all the way through this whole section. This one now is a real tight left-hander, downhill, compresses a lot. This corner here is really blind. Guys tend to hit the curb here a lot. Down the hill, you got to worry about a lot of wheel hop when you go to downshift. As you go into this turn 7, we call it. Hit the curb hard there, over the curb on the exit. Good place to pass right here, going into, you could call it turn 7. A lot of guys have a different approaches on what to call it. Really hard to get out of this corner. First gear corner, hard to get the power down. Usually short shift to 2nd, short shift to 3rd. Nice and easy around the left-hander here in the S. You got to get around this one real tight so you can be nice and square to come over this rise and get to the gas real hard and hug it real tight around turn 9. As you come into turn 10, the biggest thing you don't want to do is overcharge this corner and get loose in. If you can keep the back end underneath you, you can get in the gas hard, and this is a great place to pass going down into turn 11. Big compression zone, hard on the brakes. Right here, you want to get it slowed down, get off the brake, and hug these tires because there's a lot of grip inside that curb. And here you come back on the front stretch again.
So, Jeff, I guess it's pretty safe to say there's a lot going on in that car in one lap at Sonoma.
It is probably one of the hardest racetracks we go to as far as guys having to be precise and make everything work like they need to. But, JR, these guys have gotten so much better in the last few years. They've gone to school. They've understood that, hey, you got to brake in a straight line. You've got to take care of your equipment. We've improved that equipment as far as transmissions, engines, brakes, as well as the steering. All these things have really helped make our drivers, I'm talking about NASCAR drivers, really compare to some of the best in the world.
Yeah, so everybody's a ringer now, a course ringer. Earlier in the show, we asked fans to send in questions for Jeff, and we've compiled them now, so we're going to put 1 minute on the clock. Let's get your questions for Grid Chatter. First question, how many spotters will teams employ, and where will they place them?
Well, most of these people are going to be on top of the hill over there. NASCAR's got a place, the vantage point, very high above the racetrack. They can see 90% of the racetrack. The second spotter is actually going to be the crew chief on top of the pit box. He can see coming down into turn 11 and help him get back up to the start-finish line.
So can you explain wheel hop? We hear wheel hop a lot.
The best way to say it is you come into a corner, and instead of using the brakes to slow the tires down, you catch a gear too quick. All of a sudden, the rear end is not caught up with the tire speed, and it starts hopping, literally just skipping down the pavement. And you can't do that. Otherwise, you won't get. You're going to wreck.
Yeah. How many sets of tires will each team use, and how many laps until a change is needed? What's a tire run?
A tire run, you get 6 sets of tires to the race. But we're looking at the window, still thinking this might be a 2-tire or three pit stop sequence, so you may only change about every 37 laps.
And if you could, how would you change the chase format?
Real simple. No, I'm not going to change nothing. I like the way it's looking right now until we see it play out. How can you change something you don't know nothing about?
Nice. Hey, you got it in right under the buzzer.
How about that, buddy?
Nicely done.
I like
it. Now, if you're on Twitter and follow Dale Earnhardt Jr., you probably saw a tweet that he went on a tweet-a-thon after Michigan's race this past Sunday. If you missed any of the fun and insight into Dale Jr.'s life and thoughts, be sure to check out our story on Shake and Bake, the official NASCAR on Fox blog, as Jr. spent over 4 hours and sent over 150 tweets. You'll also find race results, cool videos, photos, and much more. Be sure to visit foxsports.com, Shake and Bake, for all the fun. Coming up next on NASCAR Live, want to know what to watch for? We've got you covered. Stay tuned. A lot going on in Sonoma.
The devil is in. The details we'll explain in just a minute.
Away is the crackle of the campfire. It could be 1,000,000 years old or a few weeks young. Away beckons from Orion's belt. Away is a place that's closer than you think. Find your Away. For a dealer in the RV that's right for you, visit GoRVing.com.
When cold refreshment calls, Coors Light answers. Frost brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Cole right back again with 3 things you need to know. U.S. women's goalie Hope Solo was arrested early this morning at her home in Seattle for investigation of domestic violence. Solo is being held without bail. Meanwhile, Manchester United midfielder Antonio Valencia signs a new 3-year deal. Valencia has won 2 Premier League titles since joining the Red Devils in 2009. And remember, it's a full night of Major League Baseball, beginning with Baseball Night in America on Fox. Then it's the Rangers and Angels right here on Fox Sports 1. Coverage is underway, 7 Eastern. Tune in.
Yeah! Fight for your brothers! Bring your glory!
Over 300 Rise of an Empire on Blu-ray and digital HD.
Calling all wine lovers. It's that time of year again at Macaroni Grill. Half off all wine, bottles and glasses. Red and white, day and night. That's half off all wine ending June 29th. Only at Macaroni Grill.
Do you remember when your first tackle box seemed like your very own treasure chest? Then keep the tradition going at Bass Pro Shop's 4th of July sale and make every day on the water a perfect 10 with a sun tracker. Now standard with an industry-leading 10-year bow to stern warranty.
Introducing America's greatest invention ever. Park's Finest from Ballpark. What? Made with 100% beef, no nitrates, and infused with bold premium seasonings like slow smoked hickory. And just wait till you taste it. New Park's Finest from Ballpark.
As children, we dreamed of being firemen, astronauts, explorers, and of course, ball players. We dreamed of stretching singles into doubles, of diving catches at Wrigley, and towering home runs at Fenway. And on July 15th, a few of those dreams come true.
Out in Sonoma, we are just moments away from knockout qualifying. Welcome back, everyone, to NASCAR Live, presented by Geico. There is one of the most accomplished road course racers ever, Jeff Gordon, looking for yet another win to add to his total out on that Sonoma road course. Let's take one more look at what's still to come today and tomorrow on Fox Sports 1. Coming up in moments, Sprint Cup qualifying. Then tomorrow, race day kicks off at 1 o'clock Eastern time, and we wrap up your night right here on Fox Sports 1 with Victory Lane at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Now let's head back out to the garage to Bob Dillner and what to watch for. Bob?
JR, there are a bunch of Cup rookies here on the road course, and to get more experience here, they're doing double duty with the NASCAR Can-Am Pro Series West out here. Michael Annett, one of 5 Cup regulars in that race here today at this Sonoma road course. Austin Dillon is another one. He actually just qualified 8th for that race, trying to get adapted to shifting a lot here around this race course. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., he qualified on the outside of the front row for the West Series race. But one guy in particular is faster than anybody here in the West Series. Top 5 in Cup practice yesterday was rookie Kyle Larson. He won the pole for the West race. But the big difference, Kyle Larson and Justin Allgaier tell me, they said, yes, it did get them adapted to this race course and road course racing, but the shift points are so much different. They told me they shifted about 7,400 RPMs in the West Series car, and in the Cup car, they shift at 9,400. That's a big difference.
Bob, thanks very much. And Jeff, that piece you got in front of you there is one of the most important pieces to a driver at Sonoma.
It is the most important piece. We talk about what, Bob was alluding to. Miss a shift, tear this transmission up, your day's going to be done. The other thing is you make it work in your favor. This can be your best friend. Take care of it. Treat it like almost like it's your wife.
Just one more piece you got to watch out for. Another thing you got to pay attention to when you're road course racing out at Sonoma. So much to watch for, but the big thing to watch for is this knockout qualifying. Coming up next, let's go to Adam Alexander, AA and Sprint Cup Series qualifying.
If you're watching on the East Coast, good afternoon. And if you're with us here in Sonoma, good morning. It is time for knockout qualifying at NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. And there is one driver that could very well be on the pole, and there's another. Clint Boyer and Kurt Busch, very good in practice yesterday. And then you've got Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Danica Patrick, who also will try and get a good starting spot for tomorrow's 16th race of the year. It's NASCAR Sprint Cup Series knockout qualifying live from Sonoma on Fox Sports 1. And no surprise here, the weather is always good when we come to this racetrack in Northern California. High temperature today expected to be up around 83 degrees. Right now, a cool 73 under partly cloudy skies. So glad you're with us on this Saturday with Kyle Petty and Larry McReynolds. I'm Adam Alexander. So this is the first time we've tried knockout qualifying at a road course. And Larry, I don't think we have any idea what's going to happen.
No, I mean, this morning is full of unknowns, but I think the biggest thing is that when you cut your fast lap and you feel like you've got a good enough lap to advance or you're going to be well up inside the top 12, then you want to slow down quickly because you don't want to take any more time off those tires. Well, on this 2-mile road course, there's no way to get out of the way. It's not that you want to get in the way of another driver, but there's just nowhere to get. But I think the other thing, it's going to be a cat and mouse game in this first round with it being 30 minutes because you want to absolutely make sure you get a clean lap because you don't want another driver in your way, but you don't want another driver distracting your run either.
So, Kyle, we were up here for the 2 practice sessions yesterday. Kurt Busch quickest in session 1. It was Clint Boyer at the top of the board in session 2. But do we really know who's going to go out and put it on the pole this afternoon?
I don't know how we could know because I don't think those guys that are getting ready to crawl in a car know right now. You know, we saw Clint be fast. We saw Kurt Busch be fast. We saw Dale Jr. be fast. And that is phenomenal. I think those guys have a good shot at doing good. But we saw guys like Jimmy Johnson. They were 15th, 16th, 17th. And we heard yesterday that they were just running segment times. So how many guys were out there just running segment times? We know Marcus Ambrose. We know that A.J. Allmendinger, guys like that, can slide in here and get a pole. So there's going to be some teams that we don't usually talk about that are going to be at the top of the heap here.
And do not expect necessarily the driver that's fastest in round 1 to be the driver that sits on the pole. We've only seen that one time in 2014.
And Larry, the last 2 years here, Michael Waltrip Racing has gone to victory lane. The man that got him the trophy 2 seasons ago, Clint Boyer, he's downstairs now with our Marty Snyder.
Well, if you look at yesterday's practice, Clint Boyer will be a threat for the pole today, but the big question mark is how is this session going to play out? Do you have any idea?
Well, no. You know, qualifying here is so difficult anyway, just to try to run one lap. You have so many opportunities to screw that lap up, where normally we just have 4 of them. But, you know, every corner is important. It's always, you know, you miss a little bit in one corner, you're like, I can get that back in the next 4 or 5, you know, screwing up all of them. So just kind of staying patient, you know, but you got to, it's go time. You got to hustle. You got to get up on the wheel and get everything out of the lap. But the other thing is, you know, trying to get a clean lap. You know, it's going to be very important to work with the spotters and make sure that we don't get in each other's way. I mean, the last thing you want to do is not only screw your lap up, but screw somebody else's lap up.
But because you had that second chance to be able to go back out if you need to, does that make it a little bit better for the driver today?
No, because the stickers are going to be, your best shot. I think the fastest speeds are going to come right here in this first run. But for me, in particular, you got to make that second round. It's all about making that top 12, get you a solid lap in, and make sure that you stay on track and don't mess up. Get that second, to make that second session, because if you don't, you're going to be forced to go out and make another one, then you're really going to be in trouble. So just be consistent and solid. And don't screw up.
Clinton Boyer trying not to screw up. He's probably the guy to beat for the pole today.
Kevin, how aggressive can you drive this racetrack before you've gone too far?
Usually it's kind of self-policing. Usually when you go too far, you wind up in the dirt. So it's definitely a fine line of where you need to be as far as how aggressive you need to be. We have a lot of information as far as throttle traces and dart fish and different things to look at. So you just kind of have to make a decision. I felt like I was too easy on our qualifying lap yesterday, and we've made some adjustments to the cars. So I know I need to get a little more aggressive, but we just have to see how far you can push it.
The next best thing to the race, knockout qualifying. We're about to put them on track here in Sonoma. More after the break on Fox Sports 1.
What's the fastest way to the hospital?
It's coming.
What do you mean it's coming?
I'm pushing, but it's too slow.
Baby, breathe.
Whew.
At times like these, you shouldn't go slow. You should be fast. With Metro's lightning fast nationwide 4G LTE network. $40, period. Metro PCS.
Humans. Even when we cross our T's and dot our I's, we still run into problems. Namely, other humans. Which is why at Liberty Mutual Insurance, auto policies come with new car replacement and accident forgiveness if you qualify. See what else comes standard at libertymutual.com. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Responsibility. What's your policy?
This is Kenny. Kenny is a dentist, but he races autocross on the weekends. But he's not thinking about his tires right now. Kenny buys all his tires from TireRack.com. Right now, he could get up to an $80 mail-in rebate when he buys a set of 4 select Goodyear or Dunlop tires. For details, he can go to TireRack.com/TV. But Kenny's not thinking about tires right now. Kenny's thinking, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. This is awesome. TireRack.com. Find, deliver, install.
Hey, I noticed your car's not in the driveway.
Yeah, it's in the shop. It's gonna cost me an arm and a leg.
That's hilarious.
Sorry.
Should have taken it to Midas. Get some of that Midas touch. They'll tell you what stuff needs fixing and what stuff can wait.
All right. Next time, going to Midas.
High five! Ah, did not see that coming.
It's time to take a closer look at your tires. Get up to $160 back by mail on a set of 4 Goodyear, Cooper, Firestone, and other select brands. Tires, brakes, oil, everything.
Introducing Domino's new specialty chicken. We bake our boneless white meat chicken with toppings, sauces, and cheese right on top. It's a little unexpected, but hey, that's what we do. Order 2 of our new specialty chicken or medium 2-topping pizzas for only $5.99 each.
Trout and the Angels. Battle Beltray in Texas. Rangers, Angels at 10 Eastern. Tonight on Fox Sports 1.
Back in Sonoma, California, about ready for knockout qualifying for the Sprint Cup Series. First time we've seen this on a road course, and I'd say one of the favorites this weekend, A.J. Allmendinger in that 47 car. Here he is with Marty.
A.J. Allmendinger got a nice draw today. They're up here in the front of the field. Now, because you guys are in the front, will you guys go out as soon as you can to get a quick lap in?
We're going to try to, but this place is so big. By the time you, I clear my lap, I got me an open lap, there'll be about 10 people that pull out by the time you come back around. So it'll be interesting to see how this qualifying format works. Kingsford Chevy was pretty quick yesterday in race trim. Qualifying trim didn't quite have as much speed as I was hoping, but it's all about nailing that one lap to get it in the second group and then doing it again.
You've come from the open wheel world where blocking is a big topic of conversation in qualifying. Will that be a big topic today, you think?
I mean, not blocking, you don't... everything comes back to get you. So if you do that to somebody, somehow, some reason, it'll come back at a different race. So you just want to try to get a clean lap. But at the same point, if you're on a lap and somebody's trying to get up to speed, they're not going to get out of your way or after your run's over, you don't want to kind of get offline and get all kinds of marbles on your tires. So it's going to be interesting. So hopefully we go out there and I do my job, lay down a lap, and get us in the second group, and then anything can happen from there.
A lot of question marks today, but we know it's going to be a lot of fun.
This weekend, Marty, Hendrick Motorsports going for their 6th consecutive win this season. They've got more poles than anyone at Sonoma. 9 times their drivers led them to the green. We'll see if they can do it again today.
Baseball's biggest players tear it up in primetime on Fox.
And he makes the play.
The NL East fight heats up when Justin Upton and the Braves battle the Nationals. Or don't miss Tigers ace Justin Verlander and slugger Miguel Cabrera.
This ball is blasted.
Baseball rips into primetime tonight at 7 Eastern on Fox.
What's a born maker made from? From small steps, giant leaps, big ideas, and sharp minds. All the things that make a born maker made this, a car with swagger, intelligence, soul. A car that proves a well-made sedan doesn't have to cross an ocean to be worthy of the American road. The all-new Chrysler 200, America's import.
Things have changed. If you're living with moderate to severe Crohn's disease and it feels like your life revolves around your symptoms, ask your gastroenterologist about Humira, adalimumab. Humira has been proven to work for adults who have tried other medications but still experience the symptoms of moderate to severe Crohn's disease. In clinical studies, the majority of patients on Humira saw significant symptom relief and many achieved remission. Humira can lower your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis. Serious, sometimes fatal events such as infections, lymphoma, or other types of cancer have happened. Blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure have occurred. Before starting Humira, your doctor should test you for TB. Ask your doctor if you live in or have been to a region where certain fungal infections are common. Tell your doctor if you have had TB, hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have symptoms such as fever, fatigue, cough, or sores. You should not start Humira if you have any kind of infection. Ask your gastroenterologist about Humira today. Remission is possible.
Just over 24 hours away from the 16th race of the year in NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. First road course event of 2014 here in Sonoma, California. And we are ready for knockout qualifying. The track is open for business. First, we deliver the rules. 2 sessions when you go to a road course. The first one 30 minutes in length. That will set positions 13 to 43 on the grid. Top 12 advanced to round 2, where they will have 10 minutes to run for the pole. And we said we didn't know what to expect. Well, the strategies are about to unfold right in front of our eyes.
I do think the draw was very important that A.J. Allmendinger was talking about, and I look at our top 10, and again, with the draw is how they were lined up on pit road, how they went through inspection this morning. But I look at Marcus Ambrose and Clint Boyer, see Joey Logano here in the 22 car. A lot of the fast drivers up near the entrance exit of pit road, but then I look back, I look at Casey Kane and Kyle Busch and Carl Edwards. They got a real high draw. They're right near the entrance of pit road.
Yeah, and I'm going to say this, and we talk about draw, we talk about all this stuff, but I'm going to talk from a driver's point of view. You run 36 races a year on an oval. It's easy to practice on a Friday and come in and run that qualifying lap on a Saturday on an oval. These guys had practice yesterday. They've got to come in and hit the ground running wide open on their first lap on the racetrack here for qualifying. And qualifying on our road course racing is getting into that rhythm of shifting and braking and understanding everything. So I'm not sure these guys, there's a little bit of doubt. We heard Clint say, I just got to hit all my corners. It's hard at a place like a road course compared to last week at a Michigan or a short track.
Here's what's going to be interesting to me. We're going to be, almost 2 minutes into the session before anybody actually goes on the clock. In fact, there goes Joey Logano. A minute and 50 seconds into this session, you put a minute and 14 or so on the board for his actual lap, a couple of minutes to cool down. You're going to have about 5 minutes invested in making one lap run and qualifying.
And that's why that last 10-minute session is going to be so exciting, because you're really only probably going to get one shot at it.
Right now, the drivers that are out there, they're pretty evenly spaced, but I think where it's going to come into play is when they complete their lap, they feel like it's a good lap, and they have to run almost 2 miles around very slow, and to Clint Boyer's point, trying to stay out of the way of another driver.
Watching Kyle Busch come down through the S's, he was gaining quickly on Michael McDowell. Almost looked like he got on the brakes a little bit to create some separation so he could really get after it once the time came to come off turn 11 and go on the clock.
Yeah, Joey Logano in his 22, he's going to be the first driver to actually complete a lap in this first round of qualifying.
And we do anticipate seeing a new track record. The old track record by Marcus Ambrose, June 2012, a 75.203 seconds. And here is Joey Logano crossing the start-finish line, and he goes 1:15.217.
That's as close to a new track record. How about Jamie McMurray, a minute 14.929?
And that is good enough for a new track record, absolutely.
A new track record right there, Jamie McMurray in the 1. And that's the 11th track record of 2014.
And how about Allmendinger? 1:14, a minute 14 seconds, .539. That's 0.4 of a second quicker than the lap turned in by Jamie McMurray.
Now there you see all these drivers that know their lap was quick enough to probably sit tight, and they're just going to ease around to get back to pit road.
So 12 drivers have now turned a lap in the opening round of qualifying as you ride on board with A.J. Allmendinger, who is quickest, and now he will sit and wait and hope his time is good enough to advance.
What he's trying to do here, he's trying to get these tires cleaned off because he will be coming to pit road when he gets back around here and hopefully get all the rubber buildup off those tires, knowing it'll probably be a run for round 2.
Yes. Good point.
2012 champion Brad Keselowski, one top 10 finish at Sonoma. Last 4 times we've been to Watkins Glen, the other road course on the schedule, he's finished in the runner-up position.
It's amazing, and you can't see this on TV, and I apologize. But you see Brad flat out, as fast as he can go at the top of the racetrack. You see these guys coming back to the garage area at 50 miles an hour on the bottom part of the racetrack down here, trying to get back to pit road to get out of everyone's way.
Good night, off a 7 to it.
On board with Kevin Harvick, running that Folds of Honor Foundation paint scheme this weekend. 2 wins in 2014, and the California native looking for his first victory here at Sonoma.
And remember, we interviewed Clint Boyer, and right now Clint Boyer is outside the top 12, back in the 15th position. You can see on the right-hand side of your screen.
Marcus Ambrose, as you look at Boyer back in the garage area, actually sitting on pit road. Marcus Ambrose, another one of the road course favorites, is 5th right now of those 18 drivers that have recorded a time.
Adam, you talked about Brad Keselowski in this too. Only 1 top 10 finish here and 3 consecutive second-place finishes at Watkins Glen. I think that goes to show you, and Brad said it, maybe his style of driving is just a little too aggressive for Sonoma.
And he jumps up right in front of his teammate. Brad Keselowski goes to 3rd as you ride on board with Kevin Harvick. Going to complete his lap coming off of turn 11.
Kevin with 3 poles already in 2014. This is the beginning of Kevin's lap here.
Brian Vickers is right now the bubble man. Greg Biffle on the outside looking in. You mentioned earlier Clint Boyer.
And it's going to be interesting to see if guys like Vickers go back out and try to bust off another lap, because he was a top 5, 6, 7 car yesterday most of the practice sessions.
Yeah, when I look at the fact that Casey Kane in the 5, Paul Menard, Tony Stewart, Jimmy Johnson, a lot of these drivers we know should be able to cut a fast lap. I think right now, if you're possibly Kurt Busch down, who's 9th, you need to think about making another run here fairly soon.
Really good run for Ricky Stenhouse right now in 8th. I don't think we even saw him in the top 15 or 20 yesterday. He had a couple of decent laps.
I think what really helped him get in a rhythm for this qualifying as just a little bit ago he qualified for the K&N Pro Series West. In fact, he's starting outside the front row. Kyle Larson on the pole.
Yeah, excellent point. And it's like I said before, it's tough to go out and bust off a lap. He's already got his one lap in.
Kevin Harvick jumps up to third. Ryan Newman has gone to second. Allmendinger, Newman, Harvick, McMurray, Keselowski the top 5. 22 minutes and change remaining.
So, you want to be eco-friendly?
Of course.
Okay, got corn?
We got that.
Got someone to blend it into Sunoco Green E15 fuel?
Got it.
Got a car to use that fuel?
Sure do.
Got a way to recycle?
Yep.
Got trees to offset carbon?
Got that.
Got sun to power the sport?
You bet.
Got electric-powered cars?
Yep.
So wait a minute. You cut emissions by 20%, you're the largest recycler in sports, and you use solar power?
Of course we do.
All right. Got a cool earthy logo?
Check this out.
Too cool. Better.
What's the fastest way to the hospital?
It's coming.
What do you mean it's coming?
I'm pushing, but it's too slow.
Baby, breathe.
Whew. At times like these, you shouldn't go slow. You should be fast. With Metro's lightning fast nationwide 4G LTE network. $40, period. Metro PCS.
Remember when every new fork on the trail led to a new adventure? Then keep the tradition going with great deals at Bass Pro Shop's 4th of July sale, like men's color block polos for under $15. And bring the kids to our free family summer camp.
Hey everyone, it's KFC game night, and dinner at the table is approaching, I think, something like 12 minutes.
Which shatters the previous family record of 4 minutes of them sitting still?
Thanks to 12 extra crispy tenders, 4 dipping sauces, 2 sides, and biscuits.
And a free I Spy game right on the bucket.
They love playing the game.
I spy a tiger. It's really good.
Is it good? I kind of want to do this every Friday.
They've given us freedom, years of service, and sacrifice. They've given us courage, honor, heartache, and a sense of pride every time we see the flag. So join us in celebrating the stars who protect the stripes at NASCAR.com/salute. Because honor and courage should never go unnoticed.
Just over 7 minutes into the opening round of qualifying here at Sonoma. A.J. Allmendinger at the top, but we look now at Jeff Gordon. 5 poles here at Sonoma. That's the most all-time, and you see where he is in regard to Ricky Stenhouse Jr., who's 12th and on the bubble. Gordon jumps up to the 6th position. That will put Denny Hamlin in the bubble spot.
But just look over there on the right-hand side of your screen. When it's changing right now, we're cycling through. But who Jeff Gordon displaced, look right there in 8th. Casey Mears in that 13 car. Great run for that group with a brand-new race car out here. How about Danica Patrick, 3rd quickest in that 10 car?
Danica jumping up to the 3rd position right in front of her teammate Kevin Harvick.
And she looked good yesterday in practice out here. Good and smooth, hit all the corners and stayed off the curbs, gave the car plenty of room. And we know that the Stewart-Haas Racing cars have speed.
Now, they've been really, really good in recent weeks. Marcus Ambrose now sits on the pole, and Kyle Busch, who early in the session was up inside the top 5, now finds himself 11th.
I'm going to say, you look at Ambrose, you look at Kurt Busch, already been knocked out of the top 12. These guys that we really felt like had a shot at the pole now are forced in a position where they're going to have to put another lap on their tires.
Yeah, I'm looking right now at Joey Logano, Martin Truex Jr. They are 9th and 10th. 2 1/1000ths of a second separating them. That could indeed right now be the cutoff.
Yes.
A look at Casey Kane. Won this race in 2009. He's got a couple of poles here, and coming off his 2nd top 5 finish of the year last week at Michigan.
And look, we said it at the opening. We didn't know what to expect, much less that these guys know what to expect. And now we're sitting here looking at guys who were the top 2 or 3 fastest in the practice yesterday that are down right on that bubble or have already been knocked out of this final 12 so far.
Adam and Kyle, we've actually had 8 drivers so far that's broke that old track record.
30 cars have recorded a lap here in qualifying. And we ride now with Casey Kane, who will be the 31st. You see how he's tracking in regard to Ambrose, who right now is on the bubble in 12th.
That's starting to come back the right direction as he enters turn 4 here. headed down toward turn 7.
He may have what it takes to jump up inside the top 12, but he's not going to have a ton of insurance based on the speed we're seeing right now and where he is tracking in regard to Ambrose.
And he is being pretty aggressive. He is using those curbs in every corner.
But right now it's about 3.5 tenths off Ambrose, as you can see there in the red.
Seen through turn 10 up on that inside curve.
Right here, one of the more critical corners, one of the slowest corners. Turn 11, the hairpin. Yeah, it's still somewhat going the wrong direction. He's going to be about 0.5 tenth off, or 0.5 second off of Marcus Ambrose.
It puts him 18th of the 32 that have now taken time, and with less than 19 minutes remaining, you ask the question, does Kane have enough time to get into the garage, get his car properly cooled down so he can go back out, make a run, try to get in the top 12? Tony Stewart trying to do it right now, and he's about 0.5 second behind.
And while we're watching Tony Stewart, Paul Menard jumps up into 5th and knocks Marcus Ambrose out of that top 12.
On the bubble now is Kyle Busch.
Paul was fast yesterday. We watched Paul yesterday, and he's a good road racer. Has a road racing, a little bit of a road racing background, and you know, it's funny. We're watching these guys, and as we go down, I was watching this as Casey Kane ran. Casey Kane ran his lap, but Cole Witt was 16th, or excuse me, Cole Witt is 16th right now, running faster than Casey Kane ran.
Austin Dillon just completed his lap. Right now, the Rookie of the Year contender is 17th. Allmendinger at the top, less than 18 minutes remaining in round 1 of qualifying here at Sonoma.
All you need to know is here on Fox Sports Live.
Kevin Durant's hot streak has everyone impressed.
I was watching on Fox Sports 1.
Let's throw it to you. Penny Florian.
More from Peter Schrager.
Jay, I don't know about you, but I am spent.
Share the woe. Share the love. Monterey Bay Aquarium.
Summer savings is on right now at Antioch Dodge, Chrysler, and Jeep. Check out tons of new and certified pre-owned vehicles, plus 0% APR available on several vehicles. Start off the summer savings by picking up a new 2014 Jeep Cherokee Sport for just $17,999. Or step up to the Motor Trend Truck of the Year, the 2014 Ram 1500 Quad Cab, and take over $10,000 off MSRP, or lease for $249 a month. Make the smart choice with summer savings and save thousands at Antioch Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep today. So big they named an exit after them. Auto Center Drive off of Highway 4.
Summer savings starts right now at the all-new All-Star 4. You won't believe the deals on great fuel-efficient vehicles, and you won't believe the huge inventory of new and certified pre-owned vehicles. Pick up a brand new 2014 Ford Focus and take over $6,500 off MSRP, or step up to a brand new 2014 Ford F-150 Crew Cab XLT and take over $11,000 off MSRP. That's right, $11,000 off MSRP. Take the Auto Center exit off Highway 4. Make the smart choice this year at the Summer Savings Event and save thousands at All-Star Ford today.
Share the thrill. Share the love. Monterey Bay Aquarium.
Better. Extraordinary moments happen every night in baseball, but on one night, they all happen in one place, where baseball's brightest stars will compete for home field advantage in the World Series. The 85th MLB All-Star Game, July 15th on Fox.
Do you belong in this circle? Under the 1,800-watt glow of stadium lights? Can you withstand the pressure and go nose to nose with a Sprint Cup driver and keep your wits about you at every turn? Round and round you go, and when you'll rise, nobody knows.
A look here at Austin Dillon, who we told you going to break was 17th, but he is on it once again. Kyle Busch is the bubble man, and Austin Dillon pacing right around 1/10 of a second to the good, although as he comes down into turn 11, the tracker going the wrong way, and now he's in the red. We'll see if he can pick it up coming off the corner.
Yeah, if you can put that power down off turn 11, you're able to make up a lot of ground, but it's not going to quite be enough. Austin, one of the 5 drivers in the Sprint Cup Series that's running that K&N Pro Series West, that got to make a lap or two this morning in their qualifying.
He did go faster on that lap, Larry. The 3 car now 15th overall, but not good enough to get in the top 12. As we close on the midway point of round 1 qualifying, you look at Jimmy Johnson, the winner in 3 of the last 4 weeks. Won here at Sonoma in 2010, and right now he's got a pretty good lap going as he tries to push Kyle Busch outside the top 12.
And it's in the green, but while we're watching Jimmy Johnson, Clint Boyer right now in the 15 car back in 29th position. If nothing else, forget the top 12. He just wants to get out there and try to run faster and move up in the field.
Exactly, and you saw the 3 car of Austin Dillon. You'll see him right here. He's pulled over on the inside there to give Jimmy room because he was finishing his fast lap as Jimmy was starting his. And that's what we talked about earlier, was how do you get out of the way? Great job by Austin Dillon being courteous and letting those guys go.
And a reminder to pay off the point you just made, Larry, after this round ends, where you are, if you're outside the top 12, that is where you will start the race tomorrow. 13th to 43rd will be on the grid based on where they run in this session.
And we talk about strategy. Where you qualify this race, that can make you change your strategy to start this race tomorrow.
Through turn 11, Jimmy Johnson went in the red, but he got the green back, jumps up to 10th. Kyle Busch on the outside looking in, and Martin Truex Jr. now on the bubble. Marty?
Well, Larry Mack was talking about it, Adam, and that's exactly what Clint Boyer and his team are saying down here. Brian Petty told Clint, you know, hey, we may not make the top 12, but we've got to go back out and run. We cannot be 29th on the board when this whole thing is done, or maybe even worse. You see the team getting the car ready. They're going to hook up the cooling unit here shortly. They will get him back out, but I think they're waiting more towards the end of the session, guys, to make that one more shot at the run for Clint Boyer.
Marty, we're watching Kyle Larson here, and he's in the green, got a good lap going, but how about the drivers outside the top 12 right now? Kyle Busch, Ambrose, we talked about Clint Boyer, Kurt Busch is back there, Tony Stewart, Carl Edwards, who was great in practice yesterday.
Kyle Larson on the pole for the K&N West Series race, and he's going to jump inside the top 12. How about 4th quickest? That knocks Martin Truex Jr. out of the top 12 by those 2 1,000ths of a second we talked about.
Joey Logano on the bubble. Top 5, A.J. Allmendinger, Ryan Newman, Danica Patrick, Kyle Larson, and Kevin Harvick here in Sonoma.
Cole right at your service for 3 things you need to know. Argentina advances to the round of 16 with a 1-0 victory over Iran. Lionel Messi scored the game-winning goal in the first minute of stoppage time in the second half. Former Yankee great Tino Martinez had his plaque unveiled in Monument Park at Yankee Stadium today. Martinez won 4 World Series titles with the Bronx Bombers. And it's a full night of Major League Baseball, beginning with Baseball Night in America on Fox. Then it's the Rangers and Halos right here on Fox Sports 1. 7 Eastern, that's when it all gets underway.
Sonic has like every slush flavor someone could ever want.
That's right. This is basically slush headquarters.
Where sour blue raspberry plans world domination.
What?
Get colorful with new Sonic slushes, now available with Nerds candy. This is how you Sonic.
Humans. Even when we cross our T's and dot our I's, we still run into problems. Namely, other humans. Which is why at Liberty Mutual Insurance, auto policies come with new car replacement and accident forgiveness if you qualify. See what else comes standard at libertymutual.com. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Responsibility. What's your policy?
Freeze! Nobody move! Oh, shoot! Give me some of the good pies.
That's your finger there.
I wouldn't get sassy.
You like apple?
I do like apple.
Tammy, rated R, July 2nd.
Can I help you?
We just wanted to find out about your family plan.
Sure. You get 10 gigs of data to share with unlimited talk and text. And for a family of 4, that's $160 a month.
Sounds great.
Sounds like a slam dunk.
Oh, you a basketball fan?
Yeah, I played a little.
Me too. Lily Adams, point guard, high school, JV.
Grant Hill, small forward, college, and professional.
Oh, good for you.
AT&T introduces our best ever family pricing. For instance, a family of 4 gets 10 gigs of data with unlimited talk and text for $160 a month.
Tonight on Fox Sports 1. Trout, Pujols, and Hamilton look to power the Angels.
Forget all about it.
Against Texas and Adrian Beltre. Rangers Angels at 10 Eastern. Tonight on Fox Sports 1.
We have set a new track record in qualifying here at Sonoma. The 11th time this season we have done that. In fact, the top 11 drivers here in round one have bested the old track record that was set by Marcus Ambrose a couple of years ago. And here for the first time seeing Dale Earnhardt Jr. on track this weekend, driving the Kelly Blue Book Chevrolet out of the Hendrick Motorsports stables.
Well, he's been pretty quick all weekend long. So we'll see what he can do on this qualifying run. Road course here at Sonoma, not great to Dale Earnhardt Jr. He's never had a top 10 finish, best finish of 11th out of 14 starts.
It's the only track where NASCAR's most popular driver has never recorded a top 10 finish, and I think they were pleasantly surprised with the speed they had here yesterday in practice, Kyle.
Had some great laps in practice yesterday, and you know, watching Junior, watching his body language, watching him in the garage area, he seemed to just be having fun with it. And you know, maybe it's because he's won a couple of races and he knows he's pretty good in the chase and where he's at. But this is a different Dale Jr. watching him drive around this racetrack and watching him out here this week than in the past.
The tracker for him looks like a preschool project.
Yeah.
Red, green. Bouncing back and forth as he tries to find speed.
Yeah, and I think this all somewhat started going red up at the top side of the S's. He didn't get through that first part of the S's good, and it kind of escalated all the way through the S's.
Lost some time into turn 11, and he's going to have a hard time getting back that 0.2 of a second, but he's gaining on it.
It's coming.
There he goes, into the green.
He got off turn 11, which is so important for qualifying, so important in the race. And right now, he's 10th quickest. That knocks Joey Logano out of the top dozen. We only have one driver in the top 12 that's not a Chevrolet driver, and that's Brad Keselowski in that Ford that's 8th.
Now, the good fortune for Dale Earnhardt Jr., bad for his teammate, because Jimmy Johnson, the 6-time champion, is now on the bubble as you look at Denny Hamlin, and all 43 drivers entered this weekend have now made a lap.
Yeah, we're starting to see drivers like Denny Hamlin now make that second run, if nothing else, just trying to improve where they were in their first run out. Right now, Hamlin is 17th.
But I'll tell you what, Kyle, that the tracker for Hamlin, way to the good. 0.2 of a second, now 0.3 at one point better than Jimmy Johnson, who's on the bubble. This not at all what we saw out of him yesterday.
No, not at all what we saw. And you know, Kyle Busch was there in the top 10 or 12 for a little while. Got bumped out in the last 2 or 3 cars. But we did not see Kyle Busch up there. We saw him spin yesterday, just trying to gain some speed through turn 10, and it got away from him.
Well, this would be a huge shot in the arm for Denny Hamlin if he could go inside the top 12. That back-to-back top 5 finishes at Dover and Pocono before that late spin last week at Michigan. And as we said, struggled through practice yesterday. Tracker pretty good down in turn 11. In fact, he gained on it. He's going to jump inside the top 12.
And his car was good through 10. He hardly had to use the curb at all to get the thing to rotate.
Hamlin goes to 10th. Jimmy Johnson drops to 13th. Casey Mears is now on the bubble. So all 43 drivers have taken time. A.J. Allmendinger at the top of the board, and well, there's a bunch of teams still trying to get their cars ready for a second run.
Jessica is driving to the mall, so she's not thinking about tires right now. If she were, she could go to TireRack.com. Right now, she could get up to an $80 mail-in rebate when she buys a set of 4 select Goodyear or Dunlop tires. For details, she'd go to TireRack.com/TV. But Jessica's not thinking about tires. She's thinking, if Colt doesn't ask me to the prom, my life is totally over. It's tragical. Tire Rack is a proud sponsor of Street Survival, a hands-on driving experience preparing teens for real roads in the real world.
This is Jane. Her long day on set starts with shoulder pain and a choice.
Take 6 Tylenol in a day, or just 2 Aleve for all-day relief.
Roll sound. Action!
Moms, are itches and rashes keeping your kids from having fun? Be ready with new Children's Cortisone 10. It contains the #1 itch relief medicine recommended by pediatricians and is specially formulated for kids for fast, cooling relief that lasts. New Children's Cortisone 10.
Introducing Domino's new specialty chicken. We bake our boneless white meat chicken with toppings, sauces, and cheese right on top. It's a little unexpected, but hey, that's what we do. Order 2 of our new specialty chicken or medium 2-topping pizzas for only $5.99 each.
What's the fastest way to the hospital?
It's coming.
What do you mean it's coming?
I'm pushing, but it's too slow.
Baby, breathe.
Whew.
At times like these, you shouldn't go slow. You should be fast with Metro's lightning fast nationwide 4G LTE network. $40, period. Metro PCS.
The National Motorhome Clearance is going on now at Camping World. For 5 days only, you can buy like a dealer and save thousands. Visit campingworld.com/motorhome clearance and view hundreds of motorhomes nationwide, all with huge discounts. Buy top RVs like a 2014 Fleetwood Providence and save over $100,000. You won't find deals like this anywhere else. Camping World gets you top dollar for your trade and offers the best financing. Don't miss the National Motorhome Clearance event going on at Camping World. Limited time only.
Efficiency, performance, safety, integrated technology. These are things you can learn. And then there are the things you're just born with. Now, well-qualified lessees can lease a well-equipped Dart SXT for $149 per month or get $2,000 cash allowance.
Not quite 20 minutes in to the 30 minutes that make up round one of qualifying here in Sonoma, California. Look at Carl Edwards, top 5 in both road course races in 2013. Looking for more of the same this weekend at Sonoma. Good in practice yesterday, and the tracker says green right now.
Pretty much using all of the curbing up through those S's.
Edwards, as you see, bottom left, 24th on the sheet right now, but green indicates where he is in relation to the man that's on the bubble. That would be Casey Mears.
He did a nice job of not overdriving turn 11, but he was able to get off of turn 11 good, which is, I think, going to be the big difference here.
Jumps to 9th, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. goes on the bubble. Casey Mears dropping outside the top 12.
See Brian Vickers coming back, and like we said, Brian Vickers was a top 5 or 6 car in practice yesterday, and is I think a very underrated road racer.
One of the drivers certainly you think that could take advantage of being here this weekend by getting a win, putting himself in the chase, and he's going to jump inside the top 12 by better than 0.3 of a second. That will move him up to 4th. Denny Hamlin goes to the bubble as Dale Jr. falls to 13.
Yeah, Vickers becomes the 3rd driver to jump in the top 12 on his 2nd time out.
Kyle Busch going to try and replicate that in his M&M's Toyota.
And all of these drivers know this is pretty much going to be about it, because when you're looking up here, just a little over 8 minutes to go in this first round.
Yeah, you better let it all hang out here, Kyle, because you're not going to get another chance if you're outside the top 12.
Yeah, and you know, the thing is, by now you're going to have to go back. If you go back out, you're going to have 3 or 4 laps on your tires. And we heard these guys in practice yesterday talk about the drop-off in these tires. Yes, being in the top 12 is one thing, and you want to be up there, but you wouldn't have a shot at the pole probably by the end of it.
Now you're riding with Kyle Busch here as he's going down through the S's, and as you're looking toward turn 10, Kyle actually spun here yesterday, got in a little hot, car got a little bit loose right there. But that's one of the fastest corners of this course, and now you're headed into turn 11, one of the slowest corners.
He stayed in the red most of the run, picked up the green side of the tracker down through the S's to turn 10. It's teetered back in 4th. Kyle Busch shown 18th. You see where he is in relation to Denny Hamlin, who's 12th. Busch improves his time, but not good enough to get inside the top 12. His brother Kurt's on track now. We'll update his progress when we return.
If you're living with moderate to severe Crohn's disease and it feels like your life revolves around your symptoms, ask your gastroenterologist about Humira, adalimumab. Humira has been proven to work for adults who have tried other medications but still experience the symptoms of moderate to severe Crohn's disease. In clinical studies, the majority of patients on Humira saw significant symptom relief and many achieved remission. Humira can lower your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis. Serious, sometimes fatal events such as infections, lymphoma, or other types of cancer have happened. Blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure have occurred. Before starting Humira, your doctor should test you for TB. Ask your doctor if you live in or have been to a region where certain fungal infections are common. Tell your doctor if you have had TB, hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have symptoms such as fever, fatigue, cough, or sores. You should not start Humira if you have any kind of infection. Ask your gastroenterologist about Humira today. Remission is possible.
Humans. Even when we cross our T's and dot our I's, we still run into problems. Namely, other humans. Which is why at Liberty Mutual Insurance, auto policies come with new car replacement and accident forgiveness if you qualify. See what else comes standard at libertymutual.com. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Responsibility. What's your policy?
Knockout qualifying underway in Sonoma, California. The top 5, A.J. Allmendinger, Ryan Newman, Danica Patrick, Brian Vickers, and the rookie Kyle Larson. As we've gone under 7 minutes remaining here in the opening round, Joey Logano, one of the drivers that ran early, was 17th, goes back out, and by more than a half a second is going to best 12. Wow. Joey Logano to the top of the board. Jeff Gordon now goes to the bubble spot.
Wow, that was a heck of a lap by Joey Logano in that 22. He did sit on the pole here back in 2011.
Good lap, but he's now turned 3 laps in the session. Look at all those guys behind him. Allmendinger, Newman, Danica, Larson, all have gotten where they are on 1 lap, Kyle.
And it's going to be interesting as we see Kurt Busch back out on the racetrack, who was fastest in one of the practices yesterday. It's going to be interesting because I truly believe in this last practice or this last session, you're only going to get 1 shot at it. You're not going to be able to go back out. So these guys with 1 lap on their tires, you know, even though these guys have gotten faster on their second, faster on their third, they might be in the catbird seat here.
And the other thing, when I look at A.J. Allmendinger, Ryan Newman, Danica Patrick, not only were their tires only have 1 lap, they're going to be a lot cooler.
Yes.
Because they've been sitting a lot longer.
A lot cooler.
Kurt Busch did jump up to 3rd, and here's Marcus Ambrose back out making his 2nd run, Marty.
Trying to jump from 22nd into the top 12, and all the crew chiefs down here are talking about why the track has gained so much time. Marcus Ambrose clearly needs to gain a couple of tenths. You can see that in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. They're saying that on the initial run, the track was very dirty, but now the track is much better. But Ambrose still trying to pick up 3 tenths. And also the gamble for everybody here on pit road, they've got about 50 seconds from right now to get out of here, unhooked, and back out on the racetrack to get a lap in time.
You know, Marty brings up an excellent point as we're watching Marcus Ambrose. Just not sure he's going to get there. I keep mentioning the K&M Pro Series West that qualified just a little bit before this session started. They run a completely different type of tire. It's a bias ply tire. Now, I know you may think rubber is rubber, but it definitely puts a different rubber down on the track, and now maybe that rubber is run off, and the rubber these guys are going to be running on, it's down.
It puts it down, and it's hard to explain that to people at home, how the racetrack goes through that cycle of picking rubber up and putting the new rubber or the rubber that you're used to running on down.
Different rubber tree, right?
Yeah, totally different. Same neighborhood, different tree.
Casey Kane is 31st right now, and he's got a long way to go if he's going to jump back inside the top 12. Carl Edwards is on the bubble right now. You see his time of record, and Kane more than a half a second behind him as he heads down toward turn 10.
You know, the biggest thing I've been impressed, Kyle and Adam, is the courtesy that's been shown.
Yes.
These guys, they're dog eat dog. But you want to beat people because you beat them, not because you screw them up.
Exactly. And you know, we've seen so many guys get out of the way of each other, and that has been impressive today because there's not a lot of places to get out of the way on this racetrack.
Kane did pick up. He went to 28th, so he picked up a few positions, was quicker, but certainly not good enough to get in the top 12. Boyer also made a 2nd run. He too missing out on an opportunity to advance. And here you look at Tony Stewart back out on track, 19th on that last lap. The 7-time road course winner and Sprint Cup competition. Going to have a hard time moving on from round 1 to round 2 here at Sonoma today.
You know, one of the big stories coming into Sonoma been the dominance by the Hendrick Motorsports Chevrolet drivers. And right now, there is not a Hendrick driver in the top 12.
And just a few minutes ago, there was nothing but bow ties in the top 12. And now there's that big blue oval on top with Joey Logano.
Hey, pretty impressed. Casey Mears in that 13 car here with a little over 2 minutes to go just jumped up to 7th with his second run.
Great lap.
I mean, you talk about drivers in the top 10, top 12 that maybe surprise you a little bit. Matt Kenseth right now finds himself in the 12th spot. He's on the bubble. Jamie McMurray is up there. We mentioned Paul Menard, Kyle Larson, the rookie, Danica Patrick. Some of those drivers that you maybe wouldn't expect to advance that have a solid position right now, and they do have an opportunity to run for the pole later today as it stands at the moment.
And we're closing in on 2 minutes to go. I find it really interesting that Paul Menard in the 27, Kyle Larson in the 42 that are both inside the top 12, they are sitting at the exit of pit road, because when you look up here, if you're going to make another lap, you're going to have to be rolling pretty soon to start that lap.
Yeah. Look at Dale Earnhardt Jr., 17th after his first run, goes back out, and that 88 car is quick, maneuvering through traffic, down through the S's. Tracker right around 1/10 of a second to the good over Matt Kenseth, who's 12th right now.
Now, to my point about Menard and Larson, they left pit road. I'm sure what they're going to do is just somewhat ease around till they see what unfolds over the next minute or so.
Dale Jr., after getting down through the S's and seeing that traffic, saw his lap slow down. 13th is where he ended up. Actually, Dale Jr. 17th as we ride with Brad Keselowski, who is 13th and trying to jump back into the top 12.
Right now, he's closing in. Well, it was closing in on about a half a second, starting to go the wrong way now as he gets up through the S's.
Keep in mind, his teammate, Joey Logano, right now the quickest overall in the session as we close on 1 minute remaining in round 1.
Just the rules. As long as you start a lap, you can go ahead and complete that lap.
Yes. Cross the start-finish line before the clock hits 0, and you can finish that lap, and it will count for round 1. No issues on time for Brad Keselowski on the clock or on where he is in regard to his lap. Right now, pretty good for BK as he comes to the start-finish line.
Wow, that's close.
Whew, 11th quickest.
Five 1/1000ths of a second quicker than McMurray, who's 12th.
You saw him get up off of turn 11. The car stepped out a little bit, and he lost time from there all the way. Everything he gained, he lost, but it was just enough to hang inside that top 12.
Now, McMurray is 12th, but he's going to make another run. Yeah, he's basically trying to jump up higher on the board, and McMurray's going to do it. He goes to 5th, creating plenty of comfort for himself, and at the same time moving Brad Keselowski onto the bubble.
You can see under 10 seconds, and Paul Menard and Kyle Larson both, they went ahead and started a lap. I don't think Larson needed to in that 42.
The clock has struck 0 in round 1 of qualifying, but these drivers that you see now got their lap started before
finish your lap here. Red flag right at the line. Just keep chucking.
The red and black flag came out. So Carl Edwards, as you heard his spotter say, go ahead and finish. He will, but he's got some ground to make up if he's going to get back in the top 12.
Yeah, he's going to have to really get off turn 11. Really good. He did get off turn 11. Now, it's going the right direction. I'm not sure it's going to be enough.
Oh,
wow. He did it.
Wow.
Edwards jumps to 12th, and he did it by 7 1/1000ths of a second, if my math is correct, and Paul Menard 11th.
Which Paul Menard was
already
inside
the top 12.
He just wanted
He was
a little
making
bit
a
of
lap for insurance. That's right.
That impressive lap by Carl Edwards. He made some time up through the S's, then seemed to lose a little bit through turn 10 and to turn 11, but made it all up coming up off of turn 11.
So we've got our 12 that will run for the pole. We will set them for you next. Joey Logano, the quickest of the bunch so far here in Sonoma.
The biggest players rip into primetime on Fox. Justin Upton and the Braves battle the Nats. Or don't miss Tigers ace Justin Verlander and slugger Miguel Cabrera.
This ball is blasted.
Tonight at 7 Eastern on Fox.
They've given us freedom. Years of service and sacrifice. They've given us courage, honor, heartache, and a sense of pride every time we see the flag. So join us in celebrating the stars who protect the stripes at NASCAR.com/salute. Because honor and courage should never go unnoticed.
This is the Andersons' new Honda Accord LX. Compared to a Ford Fusion, in the first 5 years it could save them $1,500 in gas and end up costing them a total of $3,500 less to own, according to Edmunds.com. No wonder the Accord is the best-selling midsize car in America. Start something special now with the Accord. Visit your local Honda dealer today.
The anniversary sale is on now, only at Antioch Toyota. Antioch Toyota has 14 Toyotas with 0% APR on approved credit. It is time to pick up one of America's most fuel-efficient cars today. Start saving gas and money with a new 2014 Prius 2 for just $21,749, or 0% APR up to 60 months. Or pick up a new 2014 Camry LE for just $19,249, or 0% APR up to 60 months. Make the smart choice this year at the anniversary sale and save thousands. Head to the Antioch Auto Center at Auto Center Drive and Costco Way. So big they named an exit after them. Auto Center Drive off Highway 4.
Today we're showing real people Xfinity Internet. So I want to talk to you a little bit about your internet. You want to tell me a little bit about that?
It's kind of slow.
I bet we can have all three of these guys on their devices and download our favorite HD show. You're going to be impressed. Xfinity delivers the fastest in-home Wi-Fi. Look how fast it is.
So, flippin' fast.
How does this compare to your provider?
But not as good as this.
We're done.
Get the speed to power all of your devices. Upgrade to Xfinity Internet for just $19.99 a month for a whole year. See for yourself. Call 1-800-XFINITY today.
The NASCAR Sprint Cup Series returns to New Hampshire Motor Speedway for the 22nd consecutive year on July 13th. For tickets, go to nhms.com/tickets. Round one qualifying complete at Sonoma. We will get to the top 12 drivers that advance and run for the pole in a moment. First, here's how they will line up 13th to 43rd tomorrow.
Well, I see a lot of winners from Sonoma. Look at Jeff Gordon there. He's won here 5 times. Martin Truex Jr. won this race a year ago. Kyle Busch, Tony Stewart, Jimmy Johnson. They all have wins here at Sonoma.
And Marcus Ambrose, who's pretty good at road racing, going to go off 23rd on Sunday afternoon.
Wow.
Clint Boyer.
Almost everybody we talked about in the opening that we thought had a shot at the pole is from 20th back. It seems like, I mean, the guys that were really good and the guys that we've seen in the past, Clint Boyer, Marcus Ambrose, these guys, you see Eric Almirola, Michael McDowell, but the guys that we talked about do not have a shot at the pole.
In fact, when I look at our top 12 drivers, only one of those drivers have ever won here, and that's Kurt Busch.
And you know, the last 7 winners here were first-time road course winners, and the last 9 races, 9 different winners. Top 22 at round 1 broke the old track record. More from Sonoma in a moment.
Chloe is 9 months old.
She is the greatest thing ever.
One little smile, one little laugh. Anybody? We would do anything for her. My name is Kim Bryant, and my husband and I made a will on LegalZoom.
It was really easy to do.
We created LegalZoom to help you take care of the ones you love. Go to LegalZoom.com today and complete your will in minutes. At LegalZoom.com, we put the law on your side.
Josh knows the leading mouthwash can't protect his teeth from cavities. That's why he uses Act Total Care. It does more than kill bad breath germs, it also rebuilds tooth enamel and helps prevent cavities. Act Total Care. Smile strong.
What's the fastest way to the hospital?
It's coming.
What do you mean it's coming?
I'm pushing, but it's too slow.
Baby, breathe.
Whew. At times like these, you shouldn't go slow. You should be fast with Metro's lightning fast nationwide 4G LTE network. $40, period. Metro PCS.
We're here in this auto graveyard to demonstrate a remarkable car polish. New Finish, the once-a-year car polish. Simply wipe it on and just wipe it off. It's that easy. And look, New Finish restored a deep, hard shine even to this weather-beaten car. We polished this car with New Finish and ran it through 52 car washes. Even after heavy-duty detergents and powerful scrubbing, the water still beads. So get New Finish.
Available at Advance Auto, Target, Lowe's, Walgreens, AutoZone, Walmart, and other leading stores.
Remember when every new fork on the trail led to a new adventure? Then keep the tradition going with great deals at Bass Pro Shop's 4th of July sale, like 20% off recreational vests for the whole family. And bring the kids to our free family summer camp.
Sonic has like every slush flavor someone could ever want.
That's right. This is basically slush headquarters.
Where sour blue raspberry plans world domination.
What?
Get colorful with new Sonic slushes, now available with Nerds candy. This is how you Sonic.
Away. Is the smell of salt in the air. It's the sound a seashell makes. Away is a place that's beyond your imagination, yet well within your means. Find your away. For a dealer in the RV that's right for you, visit GoRVing.com.
Let's take a closer look at today's top speed in qualifying. Now it's time to make a change of your own. Save when you switch to the Sprint Family plan, where up to 10 friends and family get unlimited talk, text, and 1 gig of data for as low as $25 per month, each while on the Sprint network. The more people you add to your pit crew, the lower your rate. Visit sprint.com/speed or a Sprint store to start your family today. Marty?
Jeff Gordon narrowly misses the top 12, and how much do you replay those laps over and over in your mind when you only needed a 10th?
Yeah, you know, what I see like 600s.
Yeah, 600.
The first run out, I felt like there was definitely a couple. Some of the things you just got to be aggressive and hope that it sticks. And right away, the nose started moving around on me. So I knew it from that point. Just don't overdrive it. And I made one mistake off of 4. And, ultimately, I think that cost us enough to just make it through. The bigger, I think, question and concern for us is how all these guys went out the second time and went so much faster. And I thought I put together a pretty good lap that second time, but I did get loose coming out of the S's, which is not a good place to do it. And we didn't have enough to make it through. So we'll just get it ready to race. Excited to have Panasonic Tough Book on board this weekend, and we've got a great race car. But we certainly needed to have a faster car for qualifying. But with the tires the way they are, I think that track position is not going to be near as important as it has been in the past.
I was going to ask you about that. Do you think it now becomes a 3-stop race tomorrow because the fall off has been so great that you might need to make 3 stops versus the 2 stops that have won it the last few years?
Yeah, or 4 or 5.
4, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It just depends on how the cautions fall. But I think new tires are going to be big. And I think having good rear grip on the long runs is going to be big. So, that's where our focus is right now. And I hate it didn't work out for qualifying, but part of me, I love this new format. So while I wish I was in it, I'm also looking forward to watching this next one.
Certainly going to be fun to watch. Some interesting points from Jeff Gordon as well, guys. Tires going to be very big tomorrow, aren't they?
No question about it, Marty. And I think, now the strategy really begins for these guys when you look to race day.
Yeah, tires are going to be important, and just as he said. But I'm going to tell you something. Track position has been king on road courses forever and ever. And I've never seen a driver qualify outside the top 15 or 20 that didn't say, hey, we're all right. Track position is not going to be that big a deal. We'll overcome it. It's tough to overcome.
Guys, I've been doing it over 30 years, and it still amazes me that you can run this long of a distance of a lap and that many drivers just be separated right there by 0.2 of a second in a minute 14+ second lap.
We heard from Jeff Gordon, who didn't make the final 12. Casey Kane not in the top dozen either, Ralph.
No, he's not, but we had a chance to catch up with him. Casey, where was your car lacking speed in that session?
Well, they're just tight, in every corner, similar to yesterday. But the biggest thing is in turn 4 when I come off the curb and land off the curb, I have to just stop and wait for the car. It just wants to run right into that wall. So I just have to wait and then pick the throttle up down the road a little bit. So that just, we give up a lot of time right there. And then all the corners just a touch snug. But hopefully tomorrow we'll have really good forward drive with our great Clip Chevrolet. And I think that's going to be key because I'd say we'll be putting on more tires and wearing tires out quicker here this weekend than what I can remember in the past. So hopefully our car will kind of play into our favor tomorrow and have a good run.
Yeah, your teammate Jeff Gordon was talking about tire wear and how it could impact his strategy tomorrow. How much are you guys talking about that right now?
I think everybody is, and I don't think it's just rear drive. I think it has a lot to do with getting into the corner, under braking, and then letting your car turn in and being able to really still enter the corner. Yesterday, I noticed I had to back up the corners a ton just to turn into the corner, and I don't remember that near as much in the past in practice. So I would imagine tomorrow will even be a little bit worse, especially if it stays sunny and things. But overall, I liked my car yesterday. It wasn't the fastest car, but I felt like it was pretty consistent.
All right, they'll start getting ready for tomorrow.
Thank you, Ralph. We'll put the clock at 10 minutes when we come back and put 12 drivers on track to run for the pole here at Sonoma.
Monday on America's pregame, the NBA draft is right around the corner. We've got the best insiders in the biz here with all the latest. And we get you ready for Wimbledon. Former world #1 Andy Roddick is here to tell you who could win it all. And we go one-on-one with UFC champ Chris Weidman, Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern on America's pregame.
The National Motorhome Clearance is going on now at Camping World. For 5 days only, you can buy like a dealer and save thousands. Visit campingworld.com/motorhome clearance and view hundreds of motorhomes nationwide, all with huge discounts. Buy top RVs like a 2014 Fleetwood Providence and save over $100,000. You won't find deals like this anywhere else. Camping World gets you top dollar for your trade and offers the best financing. Don't miss the National Motorhome Clearance event going on at Camping World. Limited time only.
That should just about do it.
Excuse me? What are you doing?
Well, we're fine-tuning these small cells that improve coverage, capacity, and quality of the network.
It means you'll be able to post from the break room.
Great.
Did it hurt when you fell from heaven?
A little.
I'm sorry, I have to go.
Oh, okay.
AT&T is building you a better network. Trout and the Angels.
It's out of here.
Battle Beltray in Texas. Rangers, Angels at 10 Eastern. Tonight on Fox Sports 1.
Before the fans go in. Before the drivers go in. Before the championships go in. Before Mobil 1 synthetic motor oil goes into these cars, we put the energy and science into perfecting it. Energy lives here. Mobil 1.
Sonic has like every slush flavor someone could ever want.
That's right. This is basically slush headquarters.
Where sour blue raspberry plans world domination.
What? Get colorful with new Sonic slushes, now available with Nerds Candy. This is how you Sonic.
This is Mike. His long race day starts with back pain and a choice.
Take 4 Advil in a day, which is 2 Aleve for all-day relief.
Joey Logano, top of the board in round 1 of qualifying. 12 drivers advancing here to round 2 to run for the pole. 5 to keep an eye on. A.J. Allmendinger, Ryan Newman, Danica Patrick, Kevin Harvick, and Kyle Larson. All have only 1 lap on their tires, but you need to put an asterisk by the rookie Larson.
Yeah, because he actually ran 1 hard lap to maybe start a run when the session ended. Carl Edwards, of course, it paid dividends in that 99 car. He gets in the top 12, but he actually has 5 laps on his tires.
A.J. Allmendinger, who sat at the top of the board for a long time in round 1, going to be the first off the pit lane. And the game plan that we got from their camp while we were away, go out, lay down a fast one, try to avoid the traffic and see where it sorts out.
I think I'm pulling for AJ and Casey Mears and one of these guys that we've just not seen in the past. We talked about somebody could come in here and get a win and get in the chase. One of these teams that are single car, smaller teams. It would be impressive to see these guys come out of here today on the pole.
You mentioned AJ and Casey, and Larry, there's a connection between those two teams beyond their alliance at Richard Childress Racing when you talk about Sonoma.
Well, A.J. Allmendinger, his 47 team, came out here and tested a few weeks ago, and you can bring up to 2 cars to a test. They only had 1. Casey Mears and his race team, they had built a new car, so A.J. Allmendinger, Brian Burns, and that group actually shook that car down for Casey Mears at the test session.
And we were just watching Danica there, and that it's hard to believe teams work together like that, but you see it. But we were watching Danica there. Maybe one of the toughest qualifying sessions we've had all year. Very impressive that she makes it to the final 12. That was a great lap by her.
3 Stewart-Haas cars in the top 12, none of which are Tony Stewart, who, of course, is one of the best all-time in road course competition. Kurt Busch, Kevin Harvick, and you mentioned Danica Patrick all advancing, and you know, Ryan Newman turning some heads here in qualifying.
Yeah, and we never even hardly mentioned him in that first round. He just quietly got it done, was in the top 2 or 3 there. And just quietly busted off a lap, got 1 lap on his tires, and here he goes.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the few tracks that Ryan Newman has never sat on a pole. And we talked about only 1 driver in our top 12 from round 1 that has won here at Sonoma. I'm looking at 8 drivers that's looking for their first win in 2014, and a few looking for their first career win, like A.J. Allmendinger.
1 year ago this weekend, Allmendinger got his first NASCAR victory driving on the road course at Road America.
In the Nationwide Series.
In the Nationwide
Series. Won twice, yeah.
Also won at Mid-Ohio. Now a full-time Sprint Cup ride for JTG Doherty Racing. Said he really feels like this is home for him. How much would it mean for him to come out here and pay it off in wine country with a victory and punch his ticket to the playoffs? We'll see what kind of lap he lays down here.
Looked good through 10.
He ran a minute 14.539 his first time. He's going to be about a 10th off of that at a minute 14.557.
He was 0.3 of a second quicker than Kevin Harvick and Danica Patrick, the 3rd driver to complete a lap. Falls in line 3rd, a 1:15.083 seconds.
But that's impressive because Harvick had Allmendinger to gauge off of. You know, when you've got a car in front of you, sometimes you go a little deeper. You try to catch up. You've got somebody to measure yourself. And to be that much faster than Kevin Harvick in 2014 is a good lap, impressive lap.
Ryan Newman goes 6th of the drivers that have been out. Casey Mears in front of him in 3rd. And here's a look at Carl Edwards. Had to put on his work gloves to make his way into the top 12. We'll see if he can make it pay off in that Aflac Ford Fusion out of the Roush Fenway stable.
Yeah, I think Carl pretty much carried that car into the top 12 from that first session. Very impressive by Carl Edwards.
Jumps to 2nd.
That's even more impressive.
And he is the first driver of those 7 drivers that's completed a lap that actually picked up from round 1, and he had more laps on his tires than any of these other drivers.
He's carrying that thing around this racetrack. I'm telling you, he's making some time through the S's when we've watched him in that first session.
Let's go down to Marty Snyder.
Well, Adam, here's the dilemma for Jamie McMurray and his team as they just now unhook the car. Keith Rodden, you see him on the screen right there, is telling Jamie, we have to go with 4 minutes left on the clock. They're getting ready to push him out here. So they have about a minute and 20 seconds to get him out here. Remember, they ran a lap at the very end of that first session. So they tried to spend as much time as they could cooling this car off. We see if they got it cool enough and if they can get a run at the pole here in a moment.
Making a run at the pole right now, Marty, is Kurt Busch. Top 5 finishes in the last 3 races here. He's in the green coming down to turn 7.
And Larry spoke to that in the first qualifying session. We saw AJ run his lap and be able to sit there for 20 minutes and cool that thing off. We saw the 1 car of Jamie McMurray and those guys towards the end of that practice didn't have an opportunity to get it as cool, so they've waited as long into the second session to cool the car as much as possible. But they've got to go now with 4.5 minutes left.
Yeah, Kurt Busch in his 41, he's not getting through the S's great in compared to A.J. Allmendinger. He continues to lose time now. He's pushed over 3/10 behind A.J.'s lap. We're now 4.5 minutes left in this session.
Kurt Busch going to be the 8th different driver to take time here in the 2nd and final round of qualifying at Sonoma. And the lap for the 2004 champion going to put him 3rd overall behind A.J. Allmendinger and Carl Edwards.
I still think Kurt Busch is the guy to watch tomorrow. 3 consecutive top 5 finishes here, driving for 3 different teams over the last 3 years.
1 for Roger Penske, 2011. 3rd here a couple of years ago behind the wheel for James Finch. And 4th, despite a couple of speeding penalties last season, behind the wheel of that 78 machine for Furniture Row. Here's Joey Logano, quickest in the opening session earlier today. A minute 14 seconds. 28.472.
He's just starting his lap up the hill, around turn 2.
Got a good run up off turn 11 to come to the green. Pretty straight shot, and that's what you want to get up off turn 11. Is you don't want to be drifting to the left. You don't want to be chasing the rear of the car out next to the wall. You want to get on the gas, and we've seen so many cars in this practice be able to drive straight up off that corner and come to the green or come back to the checkered and gain some time.
And as you watch the tracker in red, we remind you, Joey Logano, one of the drivers that had more than one lap on his tires in the opening round, so he's going to have to hustle his car a little more so than some of the other drivers that advanced as we go under 3 minutes remaining in the session.
As Joey heads toward turn 10, about a half a second off of A.J. Allmendinger. He's going to have a lot of work to do here in turn 11.
Lots. You got to pick up half a second and 100 yards. That's tough.
He's the 9th driver of the 12 that advanced to complete his run in qualifying. Here he comes to the start-finish line. Logano is 6th. Kyle Larson right behind him. The rookie so impressive this weekend. On the pole for the K&N West race later today. 2nd right now behind A.J. Allmendinger. Ralph?
Wow, that's all I can say to that. I talked to Chris Heroy, his crew chief, just before the start of this final session. He said, you know, I've never qualified better than 12th here as a crew member, and here we are into this final group, so we can do no worse than that. And now they go to number 2. They were so proud of this young man just by getting them into this session. And now, the guy that they rented a Camaro for and sent him to the Monteron School to get ready to go road racing is going to start on the front row.
Amazing run for Kyle Larson. Paying off Paul Menard. He is 7th.
Good solid run
driving
for Paul
that 27
Menard.
car.
Good,
Yep.
good run, though. Good, solid run. Now we have the one car of Jamie McMurray. Seems he's our last guy, really, as we get down to a minute and a half left. Last guy on the racetrack.
And I got to say, and we've talked a lot about it in recent weeks, but man, has this Ganassi group come to play. They have been running really good, and well, Jamie McMurray hasn't given up hope on the pole. The tracker is in the green as he comes down through that fast portion of the racetrack.
Well, he sat on the pole for this race a year ago. That's going the wrong direction as he's exiting out of the S's down toward turn 10.
Picks back up a little bit there, though.
It's going to be all about turn 11.
Under a minute remaining in knockout qualifying. And here comes Jamie McMurray. Some drama unfolding. A.J. Allmendinger at the top, but McMurray a great run.
Wow.
11. How about that Cessna Chevrolet flying to the top of the board? He best Allmendinger by 0.2 of a second.
What a lap by Jamie McMurray.
That was a great lap, and those guys, and that is perfect strategy. They went out late in the first one to protect themselves in the first qualifying session, got to the line, kind of bought their time, got to the line just in time to get that last lap in, and just a great run. And Jamie McMurray, we talked about it yesterday. You don't think about him as a road racer, great road racer.
Now, Casey Mears, he did get his lap started as the clock clicks to 0. And in fact, I think Ryan Newman just barely got his lap started.
Carl Edwards was trying to do the same, but I'm not sure as he came across the start-finish line, he was able to accomplish that. And Carl's completed 2 laps, so that actually may have been his lap of record already run. We'll keep an eye on Edwards, but I don't think the lap that he just started would have counted.
Yeah, and Danica Patrick in the 10, he tried to start a lap. So we are hearing that Edwards and Danica Patrick, their lap will not count. Casey Mears and Ryan Newman's theirs will.
Follow Casey Mears, who right now is 11th, but well off the pace in comparison to that lap that Jamie McMurray laid down.
I think he knew somewhere up there in the top side that it was not going to be a better lap. So here's pretty much the lone shot that can knock Jamie McMurray off the pole. Ryan Newman in this 31, and right now well over 0.3 off.
He is, but Larry, he's got an opportunity to better his starting position. Right now 12th. No harm to go out and make a run because all he can do is climb the board. We'll watch his progress as he lost some ground coming off of turn 11, a half a second off of the pole. Where does it put the 31 car? up to 7th. So he gains 5 positions by making that second run. And with that, knockout qualifying is over at Sonoma. And for the second year in a row and the third time in his career, Jamie McMurray will lead him to the green here in wine country.
He actually becomes our 11th different pole winner of 2014.
And we have set a track record for the 11th different time in 2014. 10 career poles for Jamie McMurray, the most recent coming right here at Sonoma. Congratulations from A.J. Allmendinger, who will join him on the front row.
For 1 week in July, it's all about the red, white, and fight. Fox Sports 1 presents a week of epic UFC events.
The fight capital of the world!
With the Ultimate Fighter final episode. The 175 prelims, all leading up to the Ultimate Fighter finale. Edgar versus Penn. UFC Red, White, and Fight Week on Fox Sports 1. Starts July 2nd.
My choice is Ford F-150.
24/7, 365. Truck buyers in California depend on F-Series pickups with comfort and sophistication on the inside.
And a beast under the hood.
You'll love F-150's power and capability. Equip yours with available EcoBoost and get impressive power and performance.
I did my research, and I made the right choice.
Buy your new F-150 now and get total savings up to $8,000 at your California Ford dealer.
Summer savings starts right now, only at Antioch Nissan. Get 0% APR for up to 60 months on several new Nissans, or get up to 2.9% APR on certified pre-owned. Pick up a brand new Nissan Versa Note Plus for just $12,388. Step up to a new Nissan Altima and take over $5,000 off MSRP. Or pick up a certified pre-owned car from our 17-acre selection. Make the smart choice this year at the Summer Savings Event at the Antioch Auto Center. So big, they named an exit after them. Auto Center Drive up Highway 4.
Today, the phone company is nickel and diming you. But tomorrow, you could be saving a fortune. Save on your home phone bill with Xfinity Voice from Comcast. Plus, text from your home number and save on your wireless bill. Switch to Xfinity Voice with unlimited talk and text for $19.99 a month for 12 months. Or step up to an Xfinity X1 Triple Play and save even more. Call 1-800-XFINITY today.
Today, Cub Swanson battles Jeremy Stevens for a shot at the title. UFC Fight Night, next Saturday at 7 p.m., only on Fox Sports 1.
Here's a look at the front row for the 16th race of the year in NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. Third career road course pole for Jamie McMurray. And A.J. Allmendinger on the front row for the first time this season. Let's hear from the fastest man in Northern California, to Ralph Shaheen.
He's already talking about it over here. Congratulations, Jamie. Second year in a row now, you're going to pace the field to the green here. How impressed were you by the way the tires performed in that session?
Yeah, our car, I feel like all weekend long has not been good on the first lap. Even in qualifying, it seemed like I could run quicker on my second. But like I was telling you, every week in this qualifying format, you're blown away that someone goes faster on older tires than they can on new tires. And the drive off of 11 and 7 is so hard here. And I didn't feel like I had that, but I felt like we got the balance of the car better. So great lap. I'm so excited. All the guys from Cessna are standing over here. When I pulled in, I saw them all screaming. I'm like, that's what it's all about. They're really good.
Okay, so based on that information, how will you set your strategy for tomorrow?
Well, I thought our car in race trim is really good. The 15, I don't know what happened to him in qualifying. I thought he maybe had the best car in race trim, but our car was really good on the long run. Track position is important. I think for the race, I think you're going to see more pit stops than normal because the tires give up so much. But we're not going to change a whole lot. I feel really good about it.
Marty, you got the guy who's going to start alongside of him.
Yeah, we're about 4 feet away, and A.J. Allmendinger had to hear all of that and also had to sit in the car and watch all that go down. How frustrating was that whole end of the session?
You know what? We were in position to have it, so it could be a lot worse. Just proud of everybody on this 47 race team. I think we got a pretty good Kingsford Chevy. I was more happy in race trim than I was in qualifying trim, so to see the speed that we have, excited about that. It sucks when you're that close, but you know what? Jamie put in a heck of a lap. Congrats to him on the pole. But I think we got a good car for tomorrow, so got a clean view of the racetrack when we go green, and we've got some fun tomorrow.
You and Brian were debating, though. You were cooling down, but there's a risk versus reward there, right?
Yeah, by the time you go back out there and the tires, when the session's longer, you can let the tires cool down, let the motor cool down a little bit more, have another shot at it, but it wasn't worth it. I thought I put in a pretty good lap. It wasn't like I made a couple of small errors, but nothing major, so I thought I got a good lap in, and I said if somebody's going to get me, they're going to get me, and it was close, but got a shot. I'm just so proud of everybody on this race team back at the shop. We got a good shot to win this thing.
And Adam, as he told me, it's pretty good when you're disappointed to qualify second.
That's exactly right, Marty. And for a team that came into this weekend with such high expectations, I think A.J. Allmendinger managing them quite well. They know they've got a chance, but they are setting themselves up for the best possible situation. He's going to start in the front row with McMurray.
Baseball's biggest players tear it up in primetime on Fox.
And he makes the play.
The NL East fight heats up when Justin Upton and the Braves battle the Nationals.
Back at the wall,
Or don't miss Tigers ace Justin Verlander and slugger Miguel Cabrera.
This ball is blasted.
Baseball rips into primetime tonight at 7 Eastern on Fox.
What's a born maker made from? From calloused hands, strong backs, from the shoulders of giants, from small steps and giant leaps, big ideas, sharp minds, from steel resolve, from blood, sweat, and gears. All the things that make a born maker made this. A car with swagger, intelligence, soul. A car that proves a well-made sedan doesn't have to cross an ocean to be worthy of the American road. We are born makers. We made this. The all-new Chrysler 200, America's import.
Things have changed.
Nice car. Not so nice scratch. Wouldn't it be nice if removing ugly scratches from your car was this easy? Now with new Finish Scratch Doctor, removing surface scratches is easy. In fact, independent laboratory tests have proven Scratch Doctor to be the best scratch remover available. Scratch Doctor with advanced microtechnology also removes paint scrapes, scuffs, haze, and swirl marks. So get Scratch Doctor.
#1 rated Scratch Doctor, available at Advance Auto, Walgreens, Ace, Target, AutoZone, Walmart, and other leading stores.
What's the fastest way to the hospital?
It's coming.
What do you mean it's coming?
I'm pushing, but it's too slow.
Baby, breathe.
Whew. At times like these, you shouldn't go slow. You should be fast with Metro's lightning fast nationwide 4G LTE network. $40, period. Metro PCS.
Introducing Domino's new specialty chicken. We bake our boneless white meat chicken with toppings, sauces, and cheese right on top. It's a little unexpected, but hey, that's what we do. Order 2 of our new specialty chicken or medium 2-topping pizzas for only $5.99 each.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our loyal fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.
The field is now set for the 16th race of the year in NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. Here's how they'll line up tomorrow at Sonoma.
Well, I look on the inside of row 2, young man Kyle Larson in the 42 car. Seems like to me Chip Ganassi got a win with a rookie in 2007 by the name of Juan Pablo Montoya.
In the 42 car. Yes, he did. Kurt Busch lining up behind Kyle Larson. He's been pretty good here over the years. Kevin Harvick, solid run. And you've talked a lot this weekend, Kyle, about Brian Vickers.
Yes, I just think he's just been underrated and overlooked when we go to these places.
How about Danica Patrick?
Great run by her and Casey Mears. I want to give a shout out to Casey Mears. Not a team you usually see in the top 12. Those guys, great effort.
I think we'll be seeing a little more of that 24 car with Jeff Gordon, besides starting back there on row 8.
And hey, I know they didn't advance, but Matt Kenseth and Denny Hamlin had solid qualifying runs as well.
Especially after watching the Gibbs teams in practice yesterday. Great run by Matt. And a great run by Dale Jr. I felt Dale Jr. was the only one that really someone got in his way in that practice. I thought he had a shot at the top 12 and maybe advancing even in that top 12, but just caught traffic in a bad place.
A lot of Sonoma winners on that last page. You see one right here. In fact, a couple of them. Clint Boyer going to start on row 13, and Casey Kane's got his work cut out for him, qualifying with Eric Almirola back on row 15.
Yeah, that has to be disappointing for Clint Boyer, Michael Waltrip Racing, Brian Patty after being the fastest in final practice yesterday.
Timmy Hill qualifying that 40 car. Landon Castle will be here to race it tomorrow, and J.J. Yaley will be behind the wheel of the 44. David Mayhew doing the qualifying. Boris Said has a Truck Series win here at Sonoma. He goes off in the 41st position tomorrow as we go to Marty Snyder.
There is no doubt, Adam, we give the effort award to Carl Edwards today. It seemed like you were willing that car around the racetrack, weren't you?
Yeah, I don't know what it looked like, but we were all working really, really hard. It did not start out well, and we just made it in, I mean, just by a hair to the second round, and then that lap went really well. This place is so much fun. I mean, this is just, it's a blast. We're having fun. I got to hang out with a bunch of Aflac folks last night, so they'll all be here. Hopefully we can get a win for them. My first road course win in the Cup Series is going to be really special, considering how far. What a different. I was terrible to start, so Boris Said a bunch of people have helped me, and this is really fun. Having a good time.
I was going to ask you more about the first round. Did you have an idea of how much time you had left and how close it was for you to get in?
Yeah, Jason Hedleski and everybody. Jason does a great job on the spotter stand, and he helped us. Everybody's watching the clock really intently. Jimmy Finnick makes great calls, but I didn't expect the car to be that good that third run, so it kind of shocked me when we got the lap, and just fun, man. This is a really fun format. It's a great place to do it, and now we get to go race on what I think is the best tire that Goodyear's had here in a long time. It's going to be really tough to drive. It's going to be a battle. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It is going to be very interesting and a lot of fun to watch tomorrow. Hopefully Carl puts on a show in the race like he did in qualifying, guys.
And Marty, ever since we went to double file restarts, a lot of comparisons have been made to road course racing and then doing battle on a short track. Earlier this season, it was Carl Edwards that got the win at Bristol.
In Roush Fenway Racing, regardless of what team, regardless of what driver, they need something good to happen.
Yeah, they do need something good to happen.
Enormous disappointment for that organization. Last week at Michigan, a track that they have owned over the years, perhaps a bounce back coming this weekend. We told you qualifying was going to be unpredictable. It lived up to expectation. Tomorrow's race will be the same. We get you ready on Fox Sports 1, 11 a.m. Eastern Time with race day. Victory Lane tomorrow at 7. That's going to do it for now. I'm Adam Alexander. So long from Sonoma.